Hi everybody, Bob with Knives Town here. Today we're going to take a look at a Cold Steel knife. This is the Cold Steel Code 4. And this particular model is the Spear Point Plain Edge. This knife is available in 3 different blade styles. The Spear Point we have here, a Tanto, and then like a clip point. And you can get them in plain edge or half serrated. Well, we'll take a look at here. It ships in bubble wrap for protection. It comes with a pocket clip, an extra pocket clip for the opposite side, as they are dedicated pocket clips, one for each side. And there we go. Now, Cold Steel's purpose in this knife was to design a rugged, everyday carry folder that, particularly with like policemen in mind, law enforcement, policemen, a knife that they could, carry as their regular, everyday carry gear that would be easy to carry, not weigh them down, not difficult to carry, that would have a general utility type function and shape, which would explain the drop point, or spear point they call it, and would be just as reliable as can be, and of course as sharp as can be. And that was their aim. That was what they wanted to do, make a utility type of knife that could be carried every day, could be used comfortably, could be a go-to knife, and would be designed in such a way that, that you would never have any question about the reliability. That was their goal in this knife, and I think they've achieved that. Most of Cold Steel's knives, I would say, are along those same lines. There's very few of Cold Steel's knives that that aren't home runs. There's a few that I kind of look a little sideways at, but most of their knives are like this, just well-built, good quality knives. Let's get a close-up on it. Here, the specs on this now. That blade is 3.5 inches long, and it's 3.5 inches in all of the models. I mean, there's not like a large, medium, and extra large like they do in some other model knives. It's just, this is the size you get. The only differences are that you can get a clip point or a Tanto, or you can get a half serration. It's 3.5 inch long blade. The steel is a Japanese AUS 8A. It is 3.5 millimeters thick. So you've got a good thickness there. It is a hollow ground blade. The weight of the knife is 4.3 ounces, so it is a lightweight knife, that's for sure. The handle is made of 6061 aluminum, and it is, according to my measurements, it is about 1/4 of an inch wide, the handle. Overall open length is 8.5 inches. Now, like I said, one of their goals here was to make it an easy-to-carry knife, lightweight, but very strong. And that's what I think I see here. If you take a look, like I was saying, this is a very thin, slim knife. See that? I mean, like I was telling you, that's about 1/4 of an inch wide. I mean, maybe a hair more, but just about 1/4 of an inch right there, side to side. And yet you'll notice though that, look at that lock bar. Okay, that thing is absolutely as wide as ever. What they thinned down on was the scales. Okay, the aluminum scales are what's been thinned, but not the steel where it counts, on the blade or on the lock. And of course that is a triad lock. Of course, that's the triad lock, which I really love. That's a super strong lock. Now, they use 6061 aluminum here, which you know, that is, you know, I mean, I don't think it's T6 because they would say that if it was. But even if it's just O6, that still has 18,000 pound PSI tensile strength, which is way more than you're ever going to need. So they can use a thin scale there to get the thinness that they wanted, and yet still have a super. I mean, that thing is just like steel, absolutely immovable. Does have a back spacer there, which I believe is aluminum too. Has a lanyard hole. The pocket clip can be reversed. Okay, but it doesn't go to tip down carry. It's tip up carry, but you can reverse it. And like I showed you, there is a second clip that comes to do that. The clip will clip nice and tight. It's a short clip, and because the handle is not textured in any way, you're not going to tear up your pocket, you know, with the repeated, you know, removing of this out of your pocket. If, like on some of the knives, like I'm thinking about the Voyager series, they've got that checkered handle and the clip presses down against that, and repeated removing of the knife it almost acts like a sandpaper on your pocket over time. But that won't happen here because this is a smooth gunmetal finished aluminum scale here, frame. It does have the end piece. I mean, that back spacer goes all the way around to make an end piece. And I'd say that is a low rider. You know, if you look at that, that's all that's going to show. See? That's a low rider. There's your lock bar. And like I say, it is the triad lock, so you can see how much of that goes down into the steel to lock. That gives you a pretty darn good lock. It does have an adjustable thumb stud, and you can see here that it's there. See, there's your screw drive right there. It's a little bit longer on the one side than the other, and it's set up right now for right-hand carry. So, you know, you'll get that long side there, and you can really get it open, or you can just open it normally. You know, so it is a flipper if you want, or you can just open it normally. And you really don't actually need to reverse that thumb stud. You know, I mean, to do left-hand opening, it's really, I mean, the minor one is still big enough. The minor side is as big as the thumb stud is on other knives. You know, just regular. So if you didn't want to, you don't have to. You don't have to change that around. You can open it up lefty just real easy too. But if you wanted to, you can change that around to make the long side on the left, and then you switch your pocket clip too, I guess. I'm right-handed, so I can work it a little better with my right. That's a real nice knife. It's got of course this type of a blade, which is the most usable of all. I mean, I think of it as a drop point myself, but Cold Steel calls it a spear point, and I suppose it is kind of, I don't know, it seems like it's still a little asymmetrical to me, but nevertheless, it's got that very useful shape, good for piercing, good for slicing, good for slashing, and it does have a reinforced tip. If you take a look here, you can see the tip there. See how that is strengthened there? It's the swedge narrows here, but then the swedge opens up again here at the tip. So you've got a reinforced tip. You're not going to be breaking your tip off, you know, with puncturing or piercing uses. It does have a flat spot here near the spine, so if you're using a clamp system, you can resharpen very easily that way. The pivot is adjustable, but the tension comes from the factory just fine, I think. I wouldn't need to adjust it. There is something of jimping here at the top, but it's not really, you know, it doesn't really do much, but it's there just to feel natural. If you're accustomed to jimping and it feels weird with no jimping under your thumb, then this will make you feel good. But it doesn't really, I wouldn't say it really does a lot of, real functional use. It's got a good ergonomic handle. You can see the finger grooves here. There's plenty for your hand. It's got rounded edges, so it's comfortable. It's really very comfortable, I must say. This is really a very comfortable knife. Very. The blade centers perfectly in there. See that? Yeah. It's fast deploy, it's super sharp. I mean, that's hair popping sharp. Yeah, that's everything you've come to expect from Cold Steel. It's priced right too. I think it's got a good price point for this knife. I think they're going to sell a lot of these because this is exactly what a lot of people are looking for. You know, they're not looking for some spacey or tricked out tactical looking kind of a knife. This is just a general duty use, rugged, reliable, everyday carry, all-purpose knife that you can rely on. And that's what they wanted, and that's what they made. So that is the Cold Steel Code 4. All right. Well, thanks for watching. I'll see you again.